why I never thought I would become a single mother. Yeah, our kids are gonna be from a two-parent household as well. Wallahi, that was my thought process. I wanted to have this perfect love story with romance here and there and just gentleness and just everything. So, my naive, emotionally distant from your spouse, you never, ever imagine, not being connected. It's just something that I just never envisioned. And we always think that, okay, to have practicing Muslim children, they need to be from a two-parent household. Again, my thought process at the time, because I personally believe you can raise practicing Muslim children in a single parent household you're not compatible with. Compatibility is a big thing. I feel like even if the person is a really, really great Muslim, they fear Allah, they obey Allah, but if you guys are not compatible, being divorced means that you failed. Being divorced means that you're a waste girl. Like, what do you mean? Why are you divorced? I was a single married woman anyway. And I think a lot of sisters can relate to that. I was a single married woman so now finally, sisters, becoming a single parent was not part of my plan. It wasn't clearly, but alhamdulillah, I'm here. You're here. Like, I am so grateful now that I'm a single mother. It was very difficult though. When everything was falling apart, it was very difficult. Asalamu alaikum, beautiful. How are you doing? I hope you're okay and well. Welcome back to the channel. I'm Fatima G. If you're new here, you're so welcome. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for being here. We are friends. We are sisters. I'm so excited you guys are here. You guys don't even understand. When I created this YouTube channel, I had no friends. I had nobody who I considered friends. The truth is, I've got lots of associates, don't get me wrong. I got lots of, acquaintances and stuff, but I just don't have any friends. But now I feel like my community on YouTube, you guys are my friends. You guys are choosing to be my friends. And that means so much to me. So yes, I'm so excited. I've got so many friends on YouTube, alhamdulillah, so many friends and sisters. So you guys are so welcome here, especially my returning subscribers, those who are watching me and subscribing and just want to follow my journey, like how I plan to improve myself and how I've grown and some of my stories, some of my life experiences. That's actually really cool that people want to listen to me. That's great. I like that. And I'm not saying that in a very in a way that's a bit, I don't think that sounds arrogant. Does it sound arrogant? But I just like people listen to me. Like, I'm somebody who, I talk a lot, and I think you guys can kind of tell that I do talk a lot. So just having this platform where I know I can come and just talk. And the good thing about this platform is that people can click off when they want to. So no one is obliged to watch me. However, people are choosing to watch me. That's kind of like makes me feel really warm inside. And I'm really, really grateful for you guys. Absolutely grateful that you guys are here watching my journey, listening to my chit chats and so on and so forth, So alhamdulillah, sorry for that little rant. I just wanted to tell you guys how much I really appreciate you all. So anyway, so today I want to talk about why I never thought I would become a single mother. Legit. I never thought I would become a single mom. I did not have the best marriage. I didn't at all. However, I knew I was never going to leave my marriage. That's just something that I thought that would never happen. I would never leave my marriage and my ex-husband would never leave. So we're here together. So now that I'm a single parent, for me, it was a shock. But it is what it is. I'm here. I'm okay. My kids are good. I'm good, So I just wanted to talk about that, So for me, from my early stages of life, I knew from when I had sense in my head that I didn't want to become a single parent because my mother, may Allah bless her and reward her, may Allah look after her, and may Allah grant her good health. She was a single mom. And at the time, she only had 2 of us. And she struggled, man. I saw how much my mom struggled. And being a single mom in Africa, Sierra Leone, is difficult. The good thing is at the time, obviously, my grandma was around, so my mom had that option. My mom could take me to my grandma, and all of that. But when my mom looked after us, it was very difficult. So I saw my mom's struggles. I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to become a single mother. I'm going to have a husband, and all of that. So I knew that I didn't want to become a single mom from a young age. So when I chose to get married at the age of 22, I chose a brother who I thought, yep, this is the brother. He's never going to leave. He's from a 2-parent household. That's something I'm going to talk about in a total different video, especially for my younger sisters. If you think because a man is from a 2-parent household, he's going to be the best ever, you're a liar. You're thinking a lie. Sorry, I do a lot of accents. I love the African accent. I feel like it just it's my personality. If I'm talking to you, doesn't matter where you're from. You could be a white sister. You could be Asian. If my African accent don't come out, then I'm probably not really comfortable with you guys. But anyways, so yeah, you're gonna hear a lot of African accent, a lot of Sierra Leonean accent and Nigerian accent here and there. If you think marrying a brother who is from a two-parent household is gonna give you a better chance in your marriage, for me, that was not my experience. And I'm pretty sure it is for some people. But for me, that was what I was thinking. I was thinking, okay, yeah, he's from a two-parent household. So yeah, our kids are going to be from a two-parent household as well. Wallahi, that was my thought process at the time. So those were the two main reasons. Because one, I didn't want to become my mum. And two, he was from a two-parent household. And I guess three, more, it should have been number one, was a practicing Muslim. So as a practicing Muslim, we tried to keep the family together. So those were my main things. So at 22, young Fatima, thinking, yeah, that's the best decision ever. Yeah, kind of regret it a little bit. But I forgive the young Fatima. I forgive the 22-year-old me. Fast forward 11 years later, I feel like I'm so much better now. And I know I've learned, I've experienced life, because when you live life, you really experience a lot. So yeah. So without any further ado, let's get into the video. So before I got married, there was a list of things that I thought about, okay? That I thought would lead me to a marriage that will last forever. So the first thing is, I expected to be with a brother who I was going to be with for the rest of my life. I envisioned both of us just striving together, struggling with life, growing in deen, and just growing in the dunya together. Because choosing to get married at 22, you have nothing. At the time, I had finished uni a year before and I was working for like a year. So this was all I was doing. I was quite a little bit independent. So I thought to myself, I need a brother who I'm going to be with for the rest of my life. So let me start thinking of who this brother is going to be. Before I got married, I wanted to build a family with a brother. I'm a family person. I've never really experienced family, but deep down within, I love family. So I wanted to build a family with a brother who had the same ideology as me, whereby family comes first. We're going to have a big family and we're going to raise these children in an Islamic household. And these kids are going to be thriving, bi'idhnillah. That was one of my goals. With two parents, okay? And we're going to share the responsibility. I will 100% class myself as a traditional wife. So at the time, not gonna lie, I didn't want to be a traditional wife because I was working in my head. I was like, I want to work, all of that. Even if I have to work part-time, I want to work. So that was the intention. So I had already voiced that out anyway to the potential brother or whoever I was having meeting with, that I would love to work. And at the time, they were okay with it. You're 22, they're probably around the same age as well. So the mindset was set in that way. Like, okay, we can work, that's fine. But I guess in long term, when children start popping off, I may need you to stay at home. So that idea was always there, kind of thing. However, even though, in my head, I knew I wanted to become a traditional wife, I still wanted to share the responsibilities. You know what I mean? Like, I wanted us, when it comes to like raising the kids, we do it together. When it comes to like household chores, like you partake in it. That was my mentality. That's what I really wanted. I think a lot of sisters want that. Even now, I mean, come on. I would love to have a brother now who would want that same kind of ideology. Like, yeah, we're going to support each other and we're going to share a lot of the responsibilities. I think that would make both partners thrive. Like, not one responsibility just staying upon just one person. It's overwhelming and it's hard, So I grew up seeing toxic marriages, tons of it, everywhere you turn. I grew up in a household with a toxic marriage, and I wanted to have this perfect love story with romance here and there and just gentleness and just everything. So my naive 22-year-old brain, even from age 17, to be honest with you, when I started thinking about marriage, I thought, don't come for me, okay? But I thought marrying outside my race would be the best decision. Okay, at the time, all I saw was black marriages failing or black couples just going at it. So I thought, yeah, I'm going to marry outside my race. Yeah, it's going to be better. Stupid. Trust me, it doesn't matter what race somebody is. If somebody's good, they're good, whether they're black or white or any other nationalities, or race. But my brain at the time thought, yeah, black people are all the same. These black men are all the same. And I guess here I am. I'm married outside my race. And here I am. So you young sisters, you better learn, okay? Doesn't matter where somebody is from. if they're going to be a horrible person, it doesn't matter where they're from in the world. And because exactly like I always saw these toxic marriages, I always wanted somebody who will always be there, who we would love each other and just be in each other's face. I know that was toxic, but be in each other's face all the time and, you know, just connect fully, you know? That's what I desired. And before I got married, I said to myself, I've never experienced love. So in my head, what I thought love was, I thought when you love somebody and somebody loves you, they're going to do anything in their power, anything that they can possibly do to always work through their difficulties, their whatever it is in between, that love will basically be able to eradicate all the difficulties. The lies, love will kill. People have killed for love. You guys know. You guys know. I used to watch a lot of crime shows, and trust me, people have killed for love. So love is actually a dangerous thing. So for me, before I got married, I really wanted like a secure partner. Not secure the way like people talk about it, but basically I wanted to rely on my husband financially, emotionally, physically. Like I just wanted him to fulfill all the needs that I didn't have as a child. Toxic mentality. But at the time I didn't know, obviously. Now I know that was toxic way of thinking. But at the time I'm like, yeah, I want him to just take care of all my needs, to help me boost my confidence and my self-esteem. Nah, that was just, you guys learn from me. You cannot basically get every single thing from a man. I think it's absolutely perfect that I wanted a man that will support me financially, because that's how I believe, that's how the roles are. You want me to be a traditional wife, you be a traditional man by providing financially 100%. I think that was actually good. But to actually depend on somebody for all your emotional needs, that can be very, very detrimental to you and the person, because somebody cannot fulfill all your emotional needs. You have to be able to meet your own needs, and then that person can help you meet your emotional needs, you know? But yeah, in my head, I was like, yeah, you're going to fill it all up. My emotional needs, my financial needs, my everything, you know? This was just some of my thoughts before marriage. So now I'm married, you know, and the things that I experienced was, you know, the emotional distance. We can't, like, I'm ready to talk. I think I talked about it. You never expect to be emotionally distant from your spouse. You never, you know, ever imagine, you know, not being connected. It's just something that I just never envisioned. And when I was there, it's like, okay, I'm here now. There's nowhere for me to go. I ain't leaving. I'm here. I'm locked in. So I need to find other ways to fulfill my emotional needs. And at the time, I didn't know. And when you don't know how to meet your own emotional needs, you tend to act out, and you tend to act like a toddler in a way to start fulfilling those needs for yourself, or trying to gain that attention from the person that you also need it so much from, you know? So yeah, the marriage was, yeah, we say alhamdulillah, isn't it? We say alhamdulillah. Sometimes people are just not compatible, and that's absolutely okay. If you're not compatible, my younger sisters, don't force it like I did. Don't force it. Don't stay in it because you're worried about what people will say. Because I think when I did get married, after that short period of time, out of all these expectations that I had, were not really ticked off for me. They were really, really not ticked off for me. However, I'm like, yeah, I'm going to stay. I'm locked in. You know, you don't have to stay locked in with somebody who basically you're not compatible with. Compatibility is a big thing. I feel like even if the person is a really, really great Muslim, they fear Allah, they obey Allah, but if you guys are not compatible, that's a recipe for disaster. That's a recipe for disaster. So for us, we struggle a lot with compatibility. However, in my head, I'm like, okay, boom, I am going to stay in this marriage. I'm not going to become a single mom. You know, fast forward, I was 24. I had become a mom already. So I'm not going to leave. And also, like I said, he was from a 2-parent household. So I thought, okay, because he's from a 2-parent household, he would like to continue that tradition on. So I don't want to be the one who to kind of like separate our family. So I stayed. I stayed for 4 more years or 5 more years after I realized that, oh my goodness, we are not compatible. All in the name of, I don't want to become a single parent. And all in the name of, okay, he's from a 2-parent household. He would want to continue that tradition on. He grew up from a 2-parent household, so he would want his children to grow up in a 2-parent household. So I was not going to initiate no divorce or nothing like that, you know? So now let's get into exactly why I thought I would never become a single parent. First of all, we're both practicing Muslims. I'm not going to marry a brother who's not practicing, because when I got married, I was wearing a niqab, you know? So I feel like my iman was really good those days. My iman is not the same. I feel like when you start practicing, your iman is the best it's ever been. And then slowly, you always desire that level of iman you had, and you kind of never get it again. So I've never experienced that level of iman that I had when I got married, you know? So of course we're both practicing Muslims, and we understood the importance of marriage. We understood, our roles. I understood my role. He understood his role, and some of the goals that we had for our children and things like that. So because of that, you think to yourself, no, we're not going to ever get divorced, because for us to raise healthy children at the time, our thought process, we need to be together, and we need to raise these children in an Islamic home together. So that was our thought process. So because of that, we talked about it. I knew, like, okay, because we have this belief together, we're surely going to work on our differences. We're going to work on things and, raise healthy children, raise practicing Muslim children. That was our goal, practicing Muslim children. And we always think that, okay, to have practicing Muslim children, they need to be from a two-parent household. Again, my thought process at the time, because I personally believe you can raise practicing Muslim children in a single-parent household. I'm a single-parent household, it's just me raising the children, to be honest with you. And I trust in Allah that Allah will raise my children to be practicing Muslims, especially because I try to establish Islam at home properly. And I trust in Allah that what my children are learning now from this young age is going to basically take them on, inshallah. While I think there's definitely a greater benefit in a two-parent household, the man doing his own part and the woman doing her own part, it makes a big difference when both of them come together and raise these children. I believe that. But it has to be a great man, a healthy brother, and a healthy sister doing this job to raise healthy, practicing Muslim children, bi'idhnillah ta'ala. So that was one. Because of that, I thought we'll never get divorced. I thought I would never be in a single parent household. Sorry, guys, I've got my phone with my notes and stuff, because I had to write notes, because if not, I'm just going to be waffling on and on. Also, I thought I would never become a single parent because, to be honest with you, there's not a day that went by when the ex-husband didn't say I love you. Like, he always used to say it, but it's just like, one of those people who he was used to the word I love you. He says it all the time. He grew up in a household where every second, I love you, I love you. Like, his parents told him that they loved him all the time. So it was like a thing that I guess he was used to, because there's no way, because I always used to say it to him as well, like, brother, you don't love me, bruv. Because if you do, you wouldn't behave a certain way. It's easy to say you love somebody. Action speaks louder than words, because you're telling me you love me, so I feel obliged to say it back, but your actions prove otherwise, So I was really hoping that, okay, you love me, you're going to do whatever you can to basically stay committed. You're going to do whatever you can to be in this relationship, to thrive, to become better, to grow. If you're ever going to say I love you to somebody, make sure you mean it. Like, don't ever feel obliged to say I love you back to somebody. And the reason why I thought I would never become a single mother, and why I decided to stay longer than I did, which I'm grateful for. Alhamdulillah, I got my 3 children. I always think to myself, if I didn't stay as long as I did, I wouldn't have had my kids, especially my last child, Allahumma barik, may Allah bless her. So for me, I feared that being divorced means that you failed. Being divorced means that you're a waste girl. Like, what do you mean? Why are you divorced? That was my thought process. So I didn't want to be a waste woman. I didn't want to, be a failure. So I didn't want to fail. And besides, if you've watched my previous videos, I told you guys before that there are people who are waiting for Fatima G to get divorced. People who used to ask, why is Fatima G still married? Like that. So I wanted to not prove them right. So I'm like, yeah, I'm going to stay in. I'm going to stay locked in this marriage, no matter what. Because I don't want to prove those evil people, evil soul, who were clapping for me to get divorced. I don't want to prove them right. And besides, I don't want to fail. So all of that, you don't want to be a failure. So you're going to stay. And also, I thought I would never get divorced, because the truth is we had been through a lot in the marriage. And we kept going. Well, I kept going. If I think about it now, I'm like, I held it together, because if I had dropped halfway off, he would have been willing to, kind of thing. But I kept the marriage together because of my idea of the ideal family, my idea of, him being from a 2-parent household, and his parents were loving as well. Like, and the fact that his parents were loving to him, and also they were loving to me, and all of that. So I didn't want to break that. And I didn't think that because of that dynamic that was going on, even though we had our difficulty, that we were going to leave. Because I feel like if you're going to leave, when the difficulty begins, if you're really weak, you're going to just leave, you know. But and also I never thought I would become a single parent because I was actually a really good wife. Big up for Fatima G. If I'm really honest with you guys, I didn't think I was a good wife in the marriage, you know. But it's now that I'm outside the marriage and I look back and I'm like, what, Fatima G? I never knew you had it in you. You were such a good wife. Allahumma barik. Like, you know, and because of that, I did my little bits. But because with him, he had his own insecurities. And that's the thing. When you have your own, when a man have their own insecurities and they have their own trauma, they're never going to be able to see the value of a woman, you know? No matter what I was doing was just not enough because he had his own problem. And he was, you know, all due respect to him, he desired a mother, you know, he desired me to be just like his mum because his mum was very loving, too loving if you ask me. Like, I used to say, cut that umbilical cord, cut it now. Like, when I used to be mad in my head, like, because I could never be a man's mom. Yeah, I beg you, please, never. I would never be a man's mom, you know. I can be a man's wife, but I was just unable to be his mom. So because of that reason, even though I was doing my own bit, I was being this great wife that I know I was just not enough kind of thing. And you know, in my head, I thought it was enough because I was doing everything I was doing, but it was just not enough for him kind of thing. That obviously led us to this, you know. But alhamdulillah, here I am now and I'm a single mother. And I'm telling you guys, alhamdulillah rabbil alameen. I thank Allah so much for this test. I thank Allah so much for this journey because I feel like it's making me grow. It's making me become a better person. It's making me learning so much more about myself. I feel like if my divorce hadn't happened, first of all, you lot would have never known who Fatima G was because my ex-husband did not want me on YouTube, obviously, clearly, you know. Like, I am so grateful now that I'm a single mother. It was very difficult, though. When everything was falling apart, it was very difficult. I tried to save my marriage, even though I wasn't even the problem, you know? I still tried to save it because why? Because of the thinking that I don't want to become a single parent. I don't want to raise my kids alone. So I fought to save my marriage for a whole year. Even though I was not the problem, because of that mentality. It's okay to become a single parent, sisters. Don't try to hold on to something that you know it's not making you grow. The marriage had become so problematic that I wasn't even growing Islamically. It had become so problematic that I wasn't even growing as a wife. I had just become stagnant. And the only thing that kept me going was my children. I developed a love, a connection, a bond. Like, my life was all around my children. That's what made me thrive in that relationship. So if that relationship is not working and it's not helping you grow, it's not helping both of you grow deen-wise, then sister, you can be strong. It's okay. People are going to talk, even if you're in your marriage. People are going to talk like, oh, you know, such and such is having such difficulty. Such and such, her husband is this. Such and such. People are going to talk. And then when you become a divorcee, people are still going to talk. People are just going to have something to say, irrespective of what decision you make. Irrespective of if you make the decision to stay with your toxic husband. Irrespective of if you chose to leave your toxic husband. Like, people are still going to talk. So now I'm just so grateful, you know. It wasn't a journey that was easy because I did feel the shame. I felt the regret. I felt the guilt. I felt the failure, all of that. But once all of that goes and Allah heals you and you really, really gain that emotional well-being that will ultimately come when you take the path of healing, you will be like, alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah, you know? So alhamdulillah, now I'm raising 3 children by myself. The truth be told, I was a single married woman anyway. And I think a lot of sisters can relate to that. I was a single married woman whereby I was doing most of the work. I was pulling most of the weight. So it was something that I was already doing even when I was married. So when that realization came and I'm like, yeah, I'm cool. I'm all right. I'm going to be okay. Things are going to be all right. I may not be able to raise my son to be the man that I really want him to be because I don't believe that women can raise a boy to become a man, period. I know that can be a topic of discussion, right? But that's my belief. And I know that, and you know that as a practicing sister, you know that we cannot raise our sons to be the men that we really want them to be. I think that's the only downfall of the single parenthood. And even yes, I got 2 girls, they still need a father figure. They still need a father figure. So we can't do it all alone. But when it comes to like emotional well-being and finding joy and finding peace and just being calm, seriously, I would choose this single life. I would. I would choose it. If I had known better, I probably would have left a bit earlier, you know, but I didn't know. I didn't know, you know, and I'm not telling you guys to say that, oh yeah, being a single parent is better. It isn't, but it's definitely much better for me because of the situation that I was in, you know. It's better for me, Fatima G. I don't know about your story. I don't know about you, but for me, it's definitely made me become better. It's made me, I'm going to talk about this and I cannot wait to tell you guys. It's made me come from I have a lot of trauma. So because of my trauma lies around abandonment and neglect and some of that and all of that, you know. So because of that, it led me to develop an anxious attachment style. And I didn't know I was anxiously attached until my marriage ended, right? So my marriage ending made me develop, you know, love to learning about my attachment style. To now, Allahumma barik, I did the test again and it says I was securely attached. And the truth is, I could actually feel that I was securely attached even before I did the test again. You know, believe it or not, I studied psychology and I remember doing a whole module on the attachment style. But this was like 13 years ago. So when I got into my marriage, I'm like, yep, I forgot about psychology. Yeah, it is what it is. I'm a wife now, you know, and all of that. So I didn't ever go back. So I've studied the attachment style all over again and I've fallen in love with psychology and all of that now. So knowing now that I'm securely attached is just so beautiful. And I feel like that would not have come if I was still in that marriage. So there's been a lot of lights at the end of the tunnel and there's more lights at the end of the tunnel to come, inshallah. So what you need to do, sisters, is just be brave, just be strong, and just know that everything will work out in the end and that people will talk irrespective of what decision you decide to make. So now, finally, sisters, becoming a single parent was not part of my plan. It wasn't, clearly, you know, but alhamdulillah, I'm here, you're here, you know, if you're a single parent yourself. We embrace this journey and we just continue to grow and we continue to thrive. And we say alhamdulillah for everything because Allah knows best. This was something that was written even before we were born, that we were going to go through a divorce and that will lead us to become a single parent. So we thank Allah for absolutely everything and everything that He has written for us. We say alhamdulillah. There's always blessing in it. I am still an amazing woman and I feel like I've become a better woman. I feel like my divorce has made me a better person. It has made me a better woman. It will make you a better woman. You're still amazing. I am still amazing. I am still worthy. You know, I am still worthy of love. You are still amazing and you're still amazing. You're still amazing and you're worthy of love. So not because you went through that experience, not because I went through a divorce, does not make me less than a woman who has not been divorced before. It doesn't make me less than. You know, it doesn't make you less than. You understand? Your worth is still there. My worth is still there. Yes, in the beginning, it's very challenging, but you have the strength to grow past it. I grew past it. I was a mess. But now, I'm like, alhamdulillah. But you have to really want to work and improve yourself, okay? You have to work and improve yourself because that growth is not going to come if you're not really making an effort to become a better person, to become a better Muslimah, to become a better mother, and to become a better future wife, because I'm pretty sure you want to get married again. I want to get married again, inshallah, one day, bi'idhnillah, okay? However, I would want to become better than the wife I once was, you know? So that means constantly working on myself and constantly growing. During this difficult time, it's important to surround yourself with love. Surround yourself with people who really care, people who will really help you, you know? It just makes life easier, having that support, having that help, having that emotional connection, because we need it. You need it, you know? So if you're going through something similar to what I've been through, just make sure you surround yourself with loving people. It makes the journey easier. Of course, things are, you know, they're not the way I envisioned it. They're not the way you envisioned it. But just know that with the help of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, something beautiful awaits. Just have that hope. Just make dua for it. That something beautiful awaits what you left or what left you, you know? Allah will replace it with something better. And just know that things will work out and better things are coming, inshallah. What I've achieved so far, I think I should just say, no, I don't want to do a whole video on what I've achieved so far as a single parent. That's just too long. What I've achieved so far for me is that I am a lot more emotionally stable. I have dealt through my traumas. I am now securely attached, which is so beautiful, which I believe is taking me even longer to find a husband, because I'm not really in the mood to even look for somebody, because I know that there's a lot of brothers out there who have attachment issues, you know, who their attachment style does not match my new attachment style, which is secure. How many brothers out there are securely attached? Not many, because so you have a lot of things to work through. But yeah, but I'm okay. I've dealt with that. I feel like my iman is okay, even though I'm struggling. Oh, subhanallah. It's a battle all the time, isn't it? We have to work on our iman constantly all the time, you know. But I have goals for myself to achieve that. I have goals for myself to just keep elevating. You know, marriage is not on the radar. It's not something that I'm looking forward to at all, or even something I'm seeking. It's just that I'm just comfortable at the moment. But definitely one day it would be on the goals of things that I would love to accomplish, inshallah ta'ala. But anywho, sisters, thank you for watching. I would like to know your story. I would like to know some of the reasons why you thought you would never become a single parent, you know, and what has helped you become a better person, what has helped you to become a better mom, and inshallah a better future wife, you know. I would like to know all of that. So if you've enjoyed watching this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos like this, inshallah. I do like talking about stuff like this and things that I've overcome and things that have made me a better person, and you know, and I continue to grow. I continue to become a better person. I'm never going to be that 22-year-old Fatima that was very naive, who wanted to marry, inverted comma, her Prince Charming, you know. I'm never going to be that little girl anymore. You know, I'm just so much wiser now, and I know that when the topic of marriage comes, I know what I'm looking for and what to expect, because I've experienced marriage. It's not what you see on social media. All these social media couples, just look at them and go to the next thing, because that's not what marriage is. I've never seen anyone really portray their marriage, how marriage really is, on social media. There's going to be lots of highs, lots of lows, and lots of in-betweens. And all we see on social media is the good. We see the good. We don't see the bad. We hardly see the bad. We just hear the bad when they've divorced. You know, all we see is the good part, you know, subhanallah. So just this social media couples, trust me, that's not what a relationship is. That's not what marriage is. Marriage is a lot more to that. And as Muslims, we have to remember that marriage is half of our deen, and it completes our deen. So we struggle every single day to, you know, accomplish what Allah wants from us on a daily basis with one half of our deen. So just imagine marriage. You have the other half of your deen, salah, fasting, being a good Muslim, etc., etc. And then you have marriage, come together, completes your deen. Of course, you're going to have problems. Marriage is difficult. You have to be strong to really have a healthy marriage and keep going, because marriage is ibadah. And I feel like people forget that. I'm not going to lie, I forgot that. I forgot that being married was an act of worship. I'm literally worshipping Allah, being a wife. He was literally worshipping Allah, being a husband. And that can be difficult. Nobody can come to me and sit here and be like, oh yeah, my other half of the deen is good. You know, okay, yeah, I think majority of us pray 5 times a day. Majority of us don't really read the Quran every single day like that. You know, how many of us are really taking time out to really memorize, you know, hadith and so on and so forth, and really become like student of knowledge? That's the half of our deen that we're still struggling with. And you think marriage is going to be roses and butterflies and flowers and all. My dear, it's difficult, okay? And as time goes on, we're going to talk about it. I would really love us to have like a genuine discourse about marriage. And it's not what you see on social media. Even the fun part, which is fun to look at sometimes, but it's not really like that all the time. We're human beings, you know? And when they show that, sometimes I'm gonna lie, I block it. I don't want to see these social media. Not that I'm envious or jealous, because I'm like, you lot are just portraying the good. And then we have our little sisters who think this is what a relationship is. We have our little sisters who have never been married before, who think this is what a relationship is. Or we have our sisters who are in a marriage who are not experiencing what these social media couples are putting out there, and then they start to have marriage, be thinking, why can't you be so and so? So and so's husband on social media got her flowers. They're showing you what they want to show you, sis. It's not real. It's not realistic, you know, and all of that. I think that's a really, really beautiful conversation for us to have as time goes on. Yeah, social media relationship is not it. So for me, I block it out. Anywho, thank you for watching once again. I really appreciate you guys being here. Don't forget to subscribe, share, and like. All right, sisters. Assalamu alaikum. I'll see you all in my next video.